2 of the 2014 FF1M season begins at the British Grand Prix at the legendary Silverstone Circuit. And I'm being joined by James Whiteley this time around. How are you doing?
Indeed. Hello. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm not so bad. Yeah, having a bit of a rubbish season, but obviously in the 89 season I've won it, so yes.
Yeah, well done on that. Your first championship in FF1M.
Yeah, I mean it's slightly cheap in the sense that I think being able to pick Senna was it third choice was pretty good, but I don't know, the amount of electrical problems that I had, that's probably
At least Parma came last anyway.
There's a nice symmetry there, isn't there? First and last.
We'll quickly recap what happened in what was a very dramatic Canadian Grand Prix, where it looked as if Jenson Button was going to just about hold off Valtteri Bottas until the gearbox went.
That was tragic.
Never have I seen such a dramatic ending to an FF1M race. And here's a look at the Silverstone Circuit, and it's an oldish variant. I can see an Abbey chicane, but in the past they've tended not to use it. We'll see what they use this time around. And
is it that looks like sort of like 90, 91 onwards to...
It looks like 97 actually.
Yeah, okay.
And free practice saw Lewis Hamilton top the session, over half a second quicker than Romain Grosjean in the Pedersen, and we've got Sergio Perez and Kimi Raikkonen 8th, and a lot of people using the hard tyres.
Yeah.
And there's what happened in the second practice, and Gajera maintained their stranglehold, this time with a 1-2 from Hamilton and Kobayashi.
I think it's going to take something pretty strong to beat those guys. Again, Hamilton on the mediums.
Well, somebody did beat them in qualifying. Taking his first pole position since Hungary last year is Romain Grosjean in the Pedersen.
Way, almost feels like last year.
Grosjean and Hamilton on the front row, and we got Jean-Eric Vergne third ahead of Fernando Alonso in the Willows. And the Canadian Grand Prix winner Valtteri Bottas starts 5th in an all-finish row 3. There's Kimi Raikkonen.
Yay. It's not been a great season for me.
Now, Raikkonen had a mechanical issue in the same place as Button. I think it was a puncture.
Yeah, and then Bruno Senna. Well, not bad, the tornado.
Well, Bruno Senna replaces Sebastian Buemi for the rest of the season. So that's what he's doing there.
The one-man shake and bake army in 10th.
Yeah, not a great qualifying for shake and bake. We've got Vettel 10th and Ricciardo last.
No.
So I think the Megatron engine is suffering a little bit in terms of development.
Not amazing for you either, this one, actually.
No, I don't think I'm suited to long fast corners, because I was quick at Monaco and quick at Montreal, and they've got quite slow corners.
What engine have you got again?
I run the Judd engine exclusively.
Yeah. Do we know the power? Has AJ let us know the power?
Well, I'll let you know later on, because the 5 lights have gone out, and it's Romain Grosjean who gets away. Hamilton's gotten away well, as has Jean-Eric Vergne into the fast right-hander at Copse Corner, and I think everyone's got through fairly safely. Indeed, they have. And it's Romain Grosjean who leads from Jean-Eric Vergne, who has moved up into second position ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, good start from Grosjean.
And looking for his first win since Japan last season, and that very spirited win, having taken that one from whoever was running second at the end. And we've seen some action between Bottas and Alonso. Bottas has just taken Alonso, and behind Suttil having a look at Raikkonen, but not quite as we go through Club Corner.
Yeah, pretty clean first lap so far.
We're expecting 1 or 2 stops. I think a lot of drivers running the hard tyres. I think I'm running the hards in this race.
I've no idea what tyres I'm running. I've given this the development. To quote David Coulthard, I'm having a development season. That's
Underneath the Mobil 1 bridge at a hangar straight, Alonso having a look around the outside of Bottas, going into Stowe. That's not going to work. Senna having a look at Suttil, but it's not worked, as Nico Rosberg has just taken that position away from the Tornado driver.
I think that's where the mistakes are going to be. I think
going around the outside into Stir.
I think that's where. I think isn't that historically with the last few years? Whenever when the AI have been a bit optimistic, it's usually been into Stowe, hasn't it?
Yeah, and on a different version of Silverstone as well, the 93 layout. They're using a more modern one this time round. As we go through Priory, and then Brooklands, and then Luffield. There's Bottas on the medium tyres, and running 2 stops by the looks of it, as are most of the front runners. I wonder who's going to be making 1.
It's refreshing to see the old Silverstone. I like the new. I do like the new circuit, but I have a softer spot for the old one because it's the one that I saw when I've seen F1 live.
Bottas is losing a position almost to Alonso, not quite. And yeah, I do get what you mean. I think Silverstone was the first circuit I went to in a race. 2004.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that when Truly had that big crash?
Yeah, rolled it.
Truly? Yeah.
Alonso is looking at Bottas once again, this time on the inside into Stowe corner. Bottas once again hanging on round the outside. Now, where is Kimi Raikkonen in amongst all this? There he is. Not quite close enough to make a move.
He needs to have a good race. This one does Kimi. This one, he's not had a particularly strong. Well, neither of my guys have had a strong season, but.
Now, Sergio Perez is 9th in the championship with 13 points, and Raikkonen is 12th in the championship with 10 points.
Yeah, it's not great. Not compared to last year. It's a difficult second album, I think, of my comeback.
Of your third stint in FF1M.
Yeah.
And Grosjean holds just 9/10 of a lead over Jean-Eric Vergne, and then Hamilton sits third, Hamilton's not especially been that quick as the season's gone along.
Yeah. He doesn't seem the same Hamilton as last. I mean, he was very good last season.
2 seasons ago, that'll be. Last season he drove for me, and it was a write-off.
Of course, sorry. Yes, yeah, good point. Yeah. I mean the year before.
So this is the action that's out on track at the moment, and I did catch a glimpse of what tyres Raikkonen was on, and they were hards.
Okay, right.
So I think because the majority of the field are going hard. Oh, slight lock-up from Bottas going into
Bottas,
Stowe.
yeah, I think he's going to have a go.
Somebody's going to have a go, and I wonder who it's going to be.
No, both the AI are being quite sensible today. So far.
So far, yeah. They tend not to be sensible going into Club Corner historically, and inside into Abbey this time, nope. And getting his line really crossed up into Abbey is Alonso, and is that going to give Raikkonen an opportunity, possibly?
Well, it's giving Bottas's relative slow pace is giving the top 3 guys a bit of breathing room at the moment, but yeah, that's we'll see how long it takes, and is he going to do it? It'll be Brave on the inside. He's done it.
He's got him this time. That's 4th position for Fernando Alonso, but Bottas is still alongside going into Club. Is Alonso going to be brave? He is indeed. That's 4th position for the Willows driver, who has suffered a pretty hit-and-miss season. He's had 4 retirements, 2 wins, and a lot of pole positions. So it's not gone well for Alonso this season so far.
No, didn't. Yeah, I was thinking when I had him last year, he had a pretty good season. It wasn't amazing. He seems to be. I think with Fernando in this series, he's quick, but he does make a lot of errors.
He's had chronic unreliability. He's had a suspension failure and a few driveshaft problems. There's Bottas going into Copse corner and running very wide, and he's going to lose the position to Raikkonen and Senna and Rosberg.
Senna. And Rosberg as well, yeah. That was costly.
Costly mistake, but at least he's still in the race.
He was very much being funnily enough with the Toyota livery, he was very much doing a Truly and being in the Truly train there, wasn't he?
And that's not good because Jenson Button off the track, and he's made it into the barriers. That's a retirement for a pretty dispirited Jenson Button after his gearbox failure in Canada last time.
Yeah, it's not going well for you, is it?
Nope, and it's all down to Kevin Magnussen.
You're having a much better season, though. You are in general. I mean, it couldn't get much worse than last year, but
I think last year was probably my worst season in FF1M.
Yeah.
no podiums.
Yeah.
For the first time since season 3 of the Masters era, no podiums.
Senna's looking quite racy.
He is, yeah.
Although he's also... So is Rosberg, actually. I think, if anything, I think Rosberg's going to... Yeah.
Yeah, they're tucked up behind Raikkonen, who I'm not sure if he's on 2 or 1 stops.
He used to up his pace, whatever. Oh, here we go.
And that's the wrong line around the outside. And there goes Rosberg, taking advantage of that little slip-up of race rustiness from Bruno Senna.
Looked like... I didn't quite catch if there was contact there. It looked...
Not quite contact. I think it was a very, very aggressive chop.
In a Rosberg sandwich at the moment.
Rosberg the filling in a Raikkonen and Senna bread. As they go into Abbey, and Raikkonen could well be on a 1 stop, but we'll have to double check that if we focus on the flying Finn, who's the highest placed Finn in this race so far.
Yeah. Go on, Kimi.
And we have 2 Frenchmen in the lead in the form of Grosjean and Verne. That springs memories of last season, back when they both drove for Tornado.
Tornado do seem to... They had a horrible start to the year, didn't they, Tornado? They started to get it back together, yeah. Ooh.
Got it back together with Verne in 2nd and Senna in 7th. And that's going to be a battle to watch now, Raikkonen versus Rosberg. Through Maggots and Beckett's they go, and then the Chapel Kink, and then...
Onto the Hangar Straight.
Then down the Hangar Straight. He's a bit further back this time, and...
He's got a good run, unfortunately.
Where's Senna gone? Senna has disappeared from the top 8 as we look at Rosberg making the move up the inside into Stowe, and that is 5th position for Nico Rosberg.
Unless Kimi can do some late braking. No, he can't.
Not quite. So that's 5th position for Rosberg as both Willows are on the move. Now, what has happened to Bruno Senna? Because he was running in 7th and he's dropped out the top 8.
Electrical, maybe? No. Probably a mistake. I think it's going to be a mistake.
Let's see as we go through Beckett's. There's the left and here comes the right. Slight lock up on the outside.
Yeah. Ooh.
That was a wild spin from Senna. And he's dropping back a heap of positions.
Oh.
And here's Adrian Suttle running in 9th place on the fringes of points. But he's got a problem now as he's been passed by Perez and a whole host of others. That looks mechanical to me.
That's terminal to me.
And pulling off into the gravel trap where last season we had Sergio Perez parked there for at least 4 laps.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I can only describe that as embarrassing.
Farcical. That was in the Gajira, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And speaking of which, here's Kamui Kobayashi looking at Carlos Sainz, who had his first points last time out in Canada with... Where did he finish? I'm looking at the wrong year. Kobayashi...
Oh, this is going to end in tears. Oh, dear.
And that's a spin for Kamui Kobayashi, and he's going to rejoin on the grass, and he's going to try again, take 2. And Sainz...
Done Ricardo Rosset.
Oh, Pedro Lamy in Adelaide.
Yeah.
That nudge...
Wasn't that when Murray said he's made a right porridge of that?
Absolutely, yeah. Nice Portuguese porridge. Well, this time round we had porridge with wasabi. Sainz had a 4th place last time out in Canada, which was a terrific result for him.
I must admit, I didn't see that full race live. I just heard the... after hearing what happened in the last few laps, I watched the last couple of laps, and yeah, I felt sorry for you on that one.
A lot of people did, oddly enough. Here comes Alonso making his first pit stop of the race from 4th position. He was right behind Hamilton, so the Willows has got some pace. Willows do lead the championship, the constructors, by 8 points from Shake and Bake. And then Shake and Bake hold a further 9 over Gajera. Looks like the battle in the championship's going to be between those 3.
Yeah, and then it's fairly close then between... I mean, you and me are around about the same sort of... I think you're a little bit ahead of me at the moment, aren't you? But we're sort of in that midfield... Yeah, we're kind of in the midfield battle, really, aren't we?
Yeah, we're tied between Well, I've got 25 points, Exolite have got 23, and as do Pedersen, so it's going to be a three-way battle between us three. Now here's a significant pit stop. Here's Jean-Eric Vergne coming in from second place, and historically we have seen that new tyres are extremely powerful, so let's see what Vergne can do on this new set, as Rosberg comes into the pits as well.
Yeah, you tend to be better off doing the undercut in this this series, don't you, with GP4?
Oddly enough, it wasn't the case in Road America.
No. I suppose it's probably not the most tyre demanding circuit tyre-wise, though, is it, Road America? Because it's not... I mean, it's a fast circuit, but it's not...
And it's got an exceptionally long pit lane as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So it favoured the one-stops quite a lot. But even so, on low fuel, one-stop was quicker. As Grosjean has made his pit stop 6.5 seconds, and out of it, currently third, now fourth, where Jean-Eric Vergne. And that's a nice camera angle looking at the Frenchman. Where is Vergne? He's not ahead of Grosjean, so it's worked out quite well for the Pedersen driver.
Yeah.
And Hamilton leads at this stage, but yet to make a pit stop. And Paul Di Resta comes into the pits. And we've got Bottas second, Vettel third.
Vettel's done... Vettel, was he there all the time? I'm sure he's just sort of sneaked up, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pit stop. He hasn't pitted yet, has he? So.
Nah, and I wonder if he is one stopping, because he's not really featured in this race so far.
Nah.
And Kimi Raikkonen.
Oh, there we go.
So it's gone badly for us too, and the front left looks a bit low.
Yeah, suspension, I think.
Suspension or puncture, one of those two.
That's frustrating, because he was looking all right.
So Exolite's quest for points rests on Sergio Perez. He must be two-stopping because, well, I've not seen him so far. As Raikkonen takes the long and lonely drive through the gravel trap.
I think that must be suspension.
Yeah, I can see the right rear tyre spinning away. It's a puncture.
Okay.
Here's Perez.
Oh, well.
And this is going to be a battle between our drivers.
Oh, sole remaining guys, yeah.
Yeah, and it is a battle for points. Vettel has made a pit stop because he's now back in 7th position, so he is two-stopping, as is Bottas. On the outside...
Neither of these guys have pitted yet, have they?
They might have pitted. Magnussen has pitted,
they?
so I think Perez must have pitted as well.
Okay.
Perez does look the quicker driver at the moment. I suspect he pitted second out of these two, so he'll be a bit quicker at this stage. Let's see what he can do going into Abbey. And Magnussen defending, and Perez backing off a little bit. Hamilton is in the lead of the race by 5.2 seconds, not having pitted. I think Hamilton is one stopping.
That'll be interesting, yeah. I think, yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think it's anyone's guess, isn't it? Really, at this point, it just depends on how the tyres hold on, I suppose.
I do suspect it is going to favour Grosjean a bit more than Hamilton, because Hamilton's got to carry the fuel as well.
And he hasn't been. I would have thought Grosjean would probably be the favourite, but we'll see.
And on much fresher tyres after the second pit stop when that comes, around lap 40-ish.
I think Vettel's got a good chance of some good points as well. He's only 3 points behind Bottas as Perez looks at...
Whoops, that is a Mitchell going past the pair of them. Look at that, is that Hulkenberg?
Both of us caught napping.
Hulkenberg must have had a right slipstream, and he's going to outbrake Magnussen round the outside. Good move, Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah? So where's that? I think you're still ahead of me. Yep.
Put us to shame.
Yeah, we were napping there, weren't we? We'll be having words.
This is Hamilton and Grosjean now for the lead. Going through Copse Corner, that's a bit of a risky one, but still side by side just about, going into Maggots, and Hamilton holds the line so far.
Vergne's catching up as well, though I'm sure the gap was about 12 seconds.
Between Vergne and Hamilton, yeah. Hamilton's tyres are a bit old.
Alonso's losing ground now. It's a 3-horse race for the win, I think, isn't it?
Well, Grosjean has just taken the lead from Hamilton through Stowe Corner, and I expect him to pull away quite a lot.
Yeah. I think there's every chance that Verne will snatch second as well.
Possibly. We'll see how early Hamilton comes into the pits. Hamilton on the mediums, so maybe they're going off. Here's Perez and Magnussen once again. This is now for 9th position as Karun Chandhok closes up to the pair.
I think he's done it.
Quite simple, actually, compared to some of the other overtakes we've seen through Stowe. So Perez up to 9th. Now he must re-chase Hulkenberg, who has disappeared off into the distance.
Yeah.
And on lap 30, Hamilton is due in the pits this lap for what I'm pretty certain will be his only stop. So rounding Priory and then Brooklands, and then Hamilton, I'm sure, will be staying tight right through Luffield. There he goes. Into the pits comes the Gajera for his only stop.
I keep thinking they're having reliability problems there, and they realise it's the pit lane.
We'll see how long this stop is compared to some of the others. Alonso's was about 5.8 seconds. Pit stops tend to be quite quick here.
Well, it's going to be a bit longer as he's one stopping, isn't it?
Just the 1.1 seconds.
So where's he going to feed out? Yeah, so he's going to feed out about 5th, 6th, something like that.
Well, I think there's Bottas going through, so he's going to rejoin in 6th position.
Yeah.
Ahead of Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, Vettel is... Yeah, he's quite a... I did wonder if Vettel was going to be a bit more of a factor, but he's slipped back a little bit at this point.
Yeah, I think Vettel, the maximum he can do may only be 7th or 6th position now. As into the pits comes race leader Romain Grosjean for his second stop. A little bit earlier, actually, on lap 37, now lap 38. But it should be fairly safe in the lead. And if he wins, that'll be Pedersen's first victory since Bruno Senna in Monaco back in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been pretty lean for Pedersen in recent times, but Grosjean did score Pedersen's first podium of the season last time out in Canada with a 3rd position.
Has they won the championship ever before Pedersen?
Yes, they've won.
Have they won it? Okay.
A few championships actually. They won 2005 with Ralf Schumacher.
Okay. Never, not words I ever would have put together. Ralf Schumacher and world champion.
And they actually won the 2011 Constructors' Championship as well.
Okay.
It's as recently as that.
That's just about everybody won a championship except for me then, who's been in the actual, in the full actual FF1M, not the.
There've been a few teams who haven't won championships. Willows and Horizon, and they're fairly new into the FF1M world.
Yeah. I don't have that excuse. So here's Verne.
Coming out in 6.8 seconds, so a 10th quicker than Hamilton.
So he's going to slip into about 4th?
Probably 5th position. There goes Hamilton on the left.
Well, he's very close, isn't he?
4th position is Jean-Eric Verne.
He has definitely cut down the gap.
Yes.
Verne.
Which one's that? It is Verne! Oh no!
It's Verne!
Jean-Eric Verne has blown an engine. So that is both tornadoes in the doldrums, because we saw Senna make that mistake earlier on.
Ouch.
So that's going to...
Where is Senna? He must be way down the order.
Yeah, after that spin at Beckett.
Chandhok's P8 now.
Yay, Karun Chandhok.
Whee.
And Felipe Massa, that's the first we've heard of him, who's making his second pit stop. And Verne's not giving up.
It's a fairly quiet race. He's still ploughing on, putting oil all over the circuit, like a champ.
But I think the inevitable must be coming shortly.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll petulantly throw it in the wall like the AI often do. Oh.
I think he's pulled off already. This is Vettel. It's Ricciardo.
Vettel and Ricciardo. Oh dear.
Contact with the rester going into Abbey.
Oh, now he's doing the thing. Oh dear. Sebi boy.
That was Kubica going past as well.
Yeah.
So now we've got both Willows running in 3rd and 4th position as one of them has gone wide, and it's Fernando Alonso. Spinning, just grazing the barrier, but he should be able to rejoin.
What was that I was saying about him being error prone?
He did the same thing in 2012, and look behind him, there's Sebastian Vettel.
There's Vettel, yeah.
Oh, that's close.
Oh, sorry, I said Vettel a second ago, but of course it was Ricciardo who spun, wasn't it? Well, there we go. I think he's going to get him.
Possibly. Alonso's cage might have been a bit rattled by his own misfortune. And round Beckett's into Chapel, and then coming out of Chapel, and not enough of a slipstream this time around. This is a battle for 5th position. And
they're not always very tactical, the AI, are they? They'll sometimes have a go when there's no chance, and then ruin their opportunity at the best braking point.
The kindest word I can describe it is erratic.
Yes.
So Alonso's error.
Yeah.
That's moved Rosberg up into 3rd, Bottas up into 4th, and Bottas has blown an engine now. I'm throwing the commentator's curses in right here.
Dear.
So that's going to promote the Alonso-Vettel battle up to the battle for 5th position. That is a dangerous one.
Vettel could, yeah. I wouldn't have thought Vettel. I wouldn't have thought Vettel could be fighting for 4th. Not that about 10 laps ago. So
yeah, especially after qualifying 10th, it's not been a bad recovery drive from the shake and bake driver.
That's a proper fire, is that? No messing about.
So Bottas's engine failure has now moved Nico Hülkenberg to 6th. Sergio Perez is in the points now in 7th position.
Whee.
And the other Mitchell of Jaime Alguersuari is up into 8th. That's not bad from 21st on the grid.
Wow, I didn't realise we were this close to the end. It's skipped to lap 57. So I think... 20. It wasn't close at all in the end, was it? 21-second gap. So.
Grosjean's 2-stop strategy proving the correct one.
Yeah. Hamilton did well to hold on. He's done well, though.
Yeah, he's made his 1-stop work from...
Yeah, and well ahead of Rosberg, so...
Absolutely. Yeah. Rosberg did have a poor qualifying down in 8th position.
So do we need to be watching the battle for 4th then? Because there's only there's less than a second in it by the looks of it.
About 6 tenths or so.
Could be on for a last lap lunge from Seb.
Possibly. He'll have to do something special in the last couple of laps, because I think Alonso's just got his mojo back.
Yeah.
And they're all quite spaced out now, because Hülkenberg is some 4.8 seconds behind Vettel, and then Perez on his lonesome in 7th position. They're coming up to lap Bruno Senna in God knows what position.
Puts into perspective how costly that error was.
Yeah, and then Magnussen's not had a particularly good race either, because he's only just in front of Bruno Senna. And Grosjean goes along on his merry way.
It's nice livery, that. I like that.
Yeah, it's based off of the 91 Minardi, I think.
Okay, yeah. It's got a little bit of look. From certain angle, it's got a little bit of a JPS Lotus look. Cause I know it's more yellow, but it does kind of look black from... It looks gold from some angles, but it looks a little bit like the Jordan as well.
But with a bit more black on the front and rear.
More black, yeah. Yeah. I wish I knew how to make a livery.
So we've just got a few more corners to go. Here's one of them, Brooklands. Here comes another Luffield. And it looks like it's going to be a Pedersen win for the first time since 2012. As he comes up to lap Bruno Senna, don't do a Timo Glock from 2005. As Romain Grosjean takes his first win of the season.
Hey. Well deserved that. Great drive.
Yeah, pretty much controlled that one from pole position, and then had to deal with Hamilton in the mid part of the race, but did so very efficiently, so very well deserved, and he set the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, he did.
So that Pedersen's really come on strong.
Yeah, I think he's been on the old engine power and aero in testing.
He'll have Gajera to thank for engine power, and speaking of which,
Yeah.
Hamilton second from Rosberg third, Alonso fourth, and there's Vettel in fifth. Hülkenberg, Perez and Al-Jaswari complete the top 8. And just to prove how quick the Pedersen was, Chandok set the 6th fastest lap of the race.
Impressive.
So they really got their car hooked up around Silverstone. And then further back we've got key retirements, which include Button, Suttil, Raikkonen, Verne and Bottas.
There were less. I thought there were more reliability. I thought there were more retirements than that actually. But I think they just all happened within a few laps of each other, didn't they? Seemingly so.
Well, we can see on the right hand side when they retired. So Button only lasted 6 laps. Needs to improve, Sonny.
Same. Yeah. I can't remember how Jensen went now. Was it?
He crashed.
He just made a mistake, didn't he? Yeah, he crashed and yeah. That was bad.
Yep, still smarting from his lost win in Canada.
When he did a Mansell.
So the championship now looks like this. Sebastian Vettel is on 67 points, and Hamilton's second place means that he now closes the gap to just 2 points. And we see Nico Rosberg third, Fernando Alonso fourth, Valtteri Bottas fifth, and now Roman Grosjean's joining in the fun on 6th place, 35 points, just 32 behind Vettel now, and it's quite a struggle further back.
It's very close in the midfield.
Should be a good one, as Willows extend their championship lead, now to 15 points the gap between themselves and Shake and Bake, and Gajera closing a little bit on the Yorkshire team, they're on 68 points, GRM hold 4th and Pedersen hold 5th, and FJR and Exolite are now tied, lovely. But we have lost a place to Pedersen.
Yeah. My season needs perking up. It's gone a bit stale.
I think we both need perking up a bit.
Yep.
Well, we've got the next race to try that, and it comes to you at Hockenheim. Stay tuned and see you soon.
Goodbye.